Subscribe for more shitty content.
And like the video so I get more views. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Esports Money, ZSM, Mac10, whatever you want to call me, and welcome to my guide to jungling Shadow Fiend on the dire side in patch 7.06F. I put out a Shadow Fiend jungling guide a little while back, but it was on the Radiant side and it was on a slightly earlier patch, so due to popular demand, here's an updated Shadow Fiend guide, and more appropriately, a guide on the dire side because the other one only shows Radiant. So, a few things about this guide. First and foremost, I am not 100% sure if I would endorse doing this, but you're watching the guide so you want to do it, so welcome aboard. First thing you need to know is we are going to be going for a point in your passive, your soul passive first. Not Presence of the Dark Lord, but Necromastery. So we're going to start with Necromastery with 1 point. At level 2, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Now this is really weird for Shadow Fiend because Presence of the Dark Lord is sort of something you get in the late game with him, but when you look at the skill, it gives you -3 armor in Aura, and then 4, 5, and 6. So it's a very good value point to have 1 skill point in, and not that good to have 4 points in. So we're going to get, at level 2, a point in Presence of the Dark Lord, and we're going to pick up a Blightstone. A Blightstone is the 300 gold item that replaced the Desolator recipe a way back, and you combine it with 2 Mithril Hammers to make a Desolator. So you're going to be going for a Hand of Midas in this guide. You don't have to go for a Hand of Midas, but I like to use Hand of Midas because it's a good benchmark of when I think you should be leaving the jungle, or I guess maybe brown boots away from leaving the jungle. Generally speaking, when you get a Midas on a jungling hero, you get 1 more small item, and then you go try to help your lanes. So you're going to be going for a Blightstone once you have the money for it, and you're going to start with an Iron Talon, a pack of Tangos, and then after you get the Blightstone, you're going to get the Gloves of Haste, your Oven Mitts. Now in this guide, I end up getting my Midas at about 9 minutes and 20 seconds, and again I have the Blightstone and the Iron Talon, but that's not to say that you can't get it faster. I actually forgot to pick up my Gloves of Haste from the courier for a pretty darn long time, so you can shave off about 15-20 seconds there. And this is a big one. If you don't buy the Tangos at the start, you can shave off another 125 gold. So really, the best time that you can get a Hand of Midas on this hero jungling is in the early 8 minutes, but I do not recommend doing this. I don't think that's particularly reasonable, and there's 2 reasons for this. One being is that you're not going to have universal access to the courier all the time, so you probably will have to wait on those Oven Mitts for a minute to get sent to you by the courier. And then second, and probably more importantly, you need to buy that pack of Tangos early on, because even though you see I'm not taking any damage, there will be some situations where you'll have range camps, or you'll have to go over here and fight this hard camp or the medium next to it while you're waiting on that medium camp to spawn. And during this period of time, you will tank some right clicks from the creeps. Another reason is you don't really want to be at low health all the time in the jungle, especially as a Shadow Fiend, because Shadow Fiend's a pretty squishy hero, and if someone comes to try to shut you down, then you're just going to straight up die. So it's a good safety proposition to carry a pack of Tangos with you at the very least. Remember, Tangos can't get, obviously they can't get interrupted by enemy attacks, so it just adds a nice bit of regen if you see you're about to get ganked. So there we have the basics. So I'm going to get 1 point in Necromastery, then I'm going to get 1 point in Presence of the Dark Lord. At level 3, I like to get a single point in Shadow Rays and then burn a significant chunk of my mana. At level 4, it's up in the air. So really, I like to get another point in Necromastery because I want the extra damage to keep hitting enemy units to help me jungle more quickly. But Shadow Rays is what you're like. In a few levels, like at level 7, level 8, you're going to wish that you had Shadow Rays max, and you're not going to care about the Necromastery as much. So that's largely up to you. I still prefer the Necromastery, because if we have 2 points in Necromastery, and we have 1 point in Presence of the Dark Lord, and we have a Blightstone, we're doing -5 armor to anyone we hit, and we're right-clicking for a lot. So a lot of people don't realize that Mud Golems aren't the tankiest neutral creep. They have a lot of magic resistance, but they actually have 0 armor. So I've got -5 armor on these Mud Golems. I've got like 50, 60, 70 some damage, and I'm hitting them for like 120 actual damage because they have so much minus armor applied to them. So that's the basic build. You will see me screw up right here and pick an additional point into my Shadow Rays when I meant to put it into my ultimate once I hit level 6. I generally would recommend getting the ultimate whenever you possibly can, unless for some weird reason you're in a situation where you have 0 points in Necromastery level 6. This should never happen, but if this did happen for some reason, then don't get your ultimate, because your ultimate banks on you having souls from your Necromastery ability. So, as far as talents go, there's a little bit of flexibility here. So, movement speed and attack speed at level 10. Again, a little bit of flexibility here. We're building very heavy on the right click, and I like to build a Desolator on Shadow Fiend. I like to blow people up. I like to have a very large amount of minus armor on the hero. I think he's very good at exploiting that with his high attack damage. So attack speed's not a bad call, but remember, movement speed lets you do more damage because you can stutter step up on people, and it lets you escape more easily. So that's up to you. Level 15, plus 6% spell amp or plus 175 health. 175 health is very, 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 very good for fighting because Shadow Fiend is a high armor, low HP hero, so 175 health gives you a lot of effective HP, but plus 6 spell amp contributes very nice to his Shadow Raise damage, especially if you're thinking about going for that talent at level 25. At level 20, you can choose between plus 2 damage per Necromastery Soul or 15% lifesteal. This one's up to you, but I probably would go for the Necromastery Soul damage because that's really, really, really good. It's a huge amount of damage. It's at level 4, that is a bonus, especially if you have Ags, that's a bonus of like 100 damage, I think. That's like 100 extra damage just for getting that talent, or you have 50% lifesteal. So again, up to you, but I still would go for the damage. And then at level 25, I think plus 150 attack range is usually the way to go, and because I like to play the hero as a right-click hero and I build the Dragon Lance anyway, I really like to stack up my attack range. This hero's attack range is okay, but it's really, really, really good if you have that talent plus the Dragon Lance. So it's up to you. I would say the only reason I would go for the Shadow Raise damage is if I had something like a Veil and I were going magic damage heavy, or if I really, really, really needed to continue to farm because I was behind and was level 25 for some reason. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this guide. If you like this video, hit the like button so I get more views, and hit the subscribe button too. I'll see you next time.